presenting history's best on PBS.
Tonight on People's Century, 1989. Time for radical change. Oppressive regimes, trampled rights, a bankrupt ideology. The people revolt. The nations of the communist bloc reach for democracy. People power. Just one in a series of extraordinary films that explore our century. People's Century. Tonight.
Brought to you by Conseco, where we believe that leaping at certain financial opportunities can make a secure financial future harder to grasp. Conseco, our goal is to help you protect wealth, create wealth for life.
Major funding for People's Century was provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and the annual financial support of viewers like you. Additional funding was provided by the Lowell Institute.
Berlin, November 9th, 1989. East Germans mob the border checkpoints that divide communist East Berlin from the West, scarcely believing what they've heard. That for the first time in 30 years, they may be free to travel to the other side. Colonel Harold Jaeger of the East German Border Guard is faced with a momentous decision.
We had no orders from our superiors. And suddenly we saw how helpless we were when faced by the will of the population. When the will of the people is stronger than the power of the state, then something is wrong. All I could do was open the barrier and let the people go.
The breach in the wall marks the final failure of the communist ideal so many had once believed in. For hospital worker Mike Fronell, it's a dream come true.
I wanted to really savor the moment. I looked down, and I took one step, and then another, and I was over it. I was about that much over the white line, and suddenly it was too much. That wall. I had overcome this monster, this snake of a wall.
The demise of the Berlin Wall brings liberation. All over the communist world, after years of resigned acceptance, millions of people have finally stood up. Back in the 1970s, the Soviet system was at the height of its power. Each year, on the anniversary of the October Revolution, communists celebrated an idea still expected to transform the world. Soviet television interviewed Nina Matova as a hero of socialist labor.
Пленум ЦК КПСС и сессия Верховного Совета СССР наделила четкой программой работу. Ведь партия осуществляет руководящую роль.
Ходили первой колонной к мавзолею.
We marched closest to the mausoleum, so proud because our region and our factory were always considered the best. We paraded our ball bearings. The watch factory showed their new watches. Each factory displayed their achievements. We were so proud our country was so powerful. We felt like one beating heart.
The communist world stretched from the Pacific in the east to the heart of Europe. Poles, Czechs, Romanians, and East Germans were all seen as part of the same great family. In Berlin, Mike Fronel carried the banner for the district of Lichtenberg.
Everybody was marching in the same direction, towards the sun. If I was tired or depressed, those songs gave me a lift.
Für mich waren das diese Lieder. Ja, wie zum Beispiel Völker hört die Signale.
They gave me a real push.
Schub nach vorne.
The future lay onwards and upwards, powered by the brotherhood of socialism. A socialist Superman was creating a better world, all in the name of Lenin. This fantastic vision inspired new generations of school children.
We
were everything. We had the best tractors, the best schools. Everything was the best here. We never had any doubts.
Мы пионеры, юные ленинцы. По-ленински жить и трудиться – наша большая мечта. Мы, ребята, гордимся нашим солнечным краем. Городами, полями разными и присловия отчизн.
For Dasha Kubova, the Russian fairy tale about an all-knowing king who could see into every home was very real.
I believe Brezhnev also sent his head around the city. I could see his head there instead of the king's. Of course I loved him. I couldn't help loving him. He was our king. Every night I sat up in my bed half asleep with my curtains open and I saluted Brezhnev. I imagined his head was somewhere near looking at me. And I saluted so he'd know good people lived here.
The state planned for everything. People's lives were mapped out for them in a system that claimed to provide the care and stability that capitalism never could.
Our state was an example for the whole world. No unemployment, free health care and free schooling. Everything was organized, for everyone down to the youngest child. It was all planned in advance, even how many bearings would be sent to which factory.
And by the 1970s, the central planners were attempting to produce everything a modern consumer might demand.
Jako Alenka v říši divů se budete cítit v obchodních domech Prior. Z nepřeberné nabídky zboží našeho trhu se vám zatočí hlava.
Wendig. Schnell. Ausdauernd und robust. Ihr zuverlässiger Begleiter, der neue Trabant 601.
As a skilled worker in one of Czechoslovakia's biggest factories, Petr Miller's standard of living was rising.
Já jsem teda měl si možnost koupit auto, měl jsem možnost nějaký chaty.
I knew that they had Mercedes in the West.
V zahraničí je to auto Mercedes, je sice krásný, mají krásný.
Yes, it's a great car, but they're both cars and they both get you from A to B.